Ninja Kiwi is really pushing it with these recent bosses, as today we have the Elite Lich, which is probably one of the wildest bosses we've had in a while. So let me show you guys the rules and what makes this one so interesting. So first off, take a look at the boss speed. It's the 135% and Vortex is already the fastest boss Bloons, so this is just gonna speed him up even that much. But then look at the boss health, 350%. This is gonna be an insanely powered and just sped up Vortex, and on top of this they increase the ceramic and the Moab health to 150%, and as usually they just beef up the speed as well with these Vortex events, and there is no I guess Super Monkey, which probably means there's no VTSG, right? That's the point of it. Now to help us off, they gave us 20,000 starting dollars, which I don't actually remember ever happening, and I think that we're gonna need every single one of these dollars. So let's just start things off. Farming is gonna be really important. I think basically, as I guess in life in BT6 as well, if you have a lot of money, it's probably gonna be fine. So the main idea with this whole defense is just gonna be just focusing on making as much money as possible, and just eventually hope that everything is gonna work out, because we are gonna need to start buying up these paragons a little bit earlier, and the defense is gonna be anything but what we've seen so far. So I think we're gonna go with a farm like this, gonna go for 023, and so hopefully if everything was placed correctly, we should be able to, yes, we should be able to fit one farm just like this. So I'm just gonna go with, is 203 on this marketplace as well. Okay, so actually let me just do it like this. Let me just get the Monkey City as early as possible, and the Monkeyopolis, we're not gonna be buying a lot of discount villages. Actually, I'm just gonna have it like this. I wanted to buff up I want to get the Monkey City and just buff up our Bloon Trap. This is also gonna increase Ben's income, by the way, and actually I think you want to just buy it as early as possible because it increases the cash per pop through the Monkey Town upgrade, and the cash per pop is the highest onto these early rounds. So yeah, we're trying to just make as much money as possible in like this short period of time, because defending the tier 1 is gonna be unlike we've been doing so far, I don't think. Alright, so round 28, this is probably the most farms I've ever seen and I've ever had in a boss event by this point. And so the way that I want to transition this farming is gonna be into central markets and then the Banana Central. Now I am gonna have the Banana Central here towards the left side. I think this farm specifically is gonna be the Banana Central one. This is the furthest away from the middle, so obviously when we're popping Vortex, we're not gonna be having this thing get stunned. But honestly, I'm just scared of what awaits us, guys, at this point, because this guy's gonna have 350% HP, and I'm not even sure, like, what are we doing for the tier 1? We're getting the Mad, right? Is the Mad even gonna be enough versus that thing? So this guy's about to appear in a second, and here's what I want to do. By the way, let's check the HP. 150k for the first one. This is insane. And by the way, he's flying through. I'm playing a normal speed, by the way, and this guy is just flying through the map. That's insane. All right, let's get the money as soon as possible for the Mad. We need to sell like a farm just to speed it up, because I do want to keep Vortex here on the right side. So I'm actually gonna sell a farm. Let's sell one of these guys. Let me get the Mad. I'm gonna lock it in place for a second. Oh my god, he's scratching it. That's crazy. Let me use the ability. Oh, okay, so I gave him a little bit of attack speed through the jungle drums, and I think I'm probably gonna need to buy an alchemist as well, guys. Let's buy something like a 420. We don't need an overclock, do we? Oh my god, defending the tier 1 with a Mad. How often do you see this? Not a lot. And actually the Mad is kinda, I don't want to say it's struggling, because it seems to be keeping it in place, but it's not going as fast as it could be for sure. Alright, so this is gonna be enough for the tier 1. So that means that for the tier 2 we're gonna need a Paragon, right? Alright, let's get this farming started. So I need to sell a couple of these farms. I wanted to have the Banana Center here on the right side, so let me just sell that farm. Let's go like this. And how many more do we need to sell from the other ones? One. I think just selling this one should get us across the line. Yeah, there we go. Actually, I'm probably gonna sell one more because I want to get an overclock as well. I'm gonna have the overclock like this. Alright, there we go. The Mad is doing the thing versus the boss. I'm gonna use the ability. This is gonna trigger the last skull, and this was actually done. I'm gonna give a little bit of credit to myself, because this was done pretty perfect. I just theorized this in Sandbox, just wanted to keep the boss on the right side, right, and having the farms to the left side. But so far, this is turning out very, very well. And there goes the tier 1. And actually, this is just like, I don't know, just like watching a normal boss event, but everything is sped up by 1 tier. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be selling the Mad. Look at the amount of money that we have, by the way, 100k. Alright, so I'm doing a little bit of a test, and I actually want to be a little bit more efficient. So I wanted to get this guy as the Monkeyopolis, and he's still overclocked because I bought an extra overclock for it, and we can absorb 9 farms. And honestly, I'm gonna do it, guys. With the introduction of the Spike Paragon, I think that Ninja Kiwi realizes that they themselves can be a little bit more, you know, bold with these boss events that they're creating, right? I think the damage potential that we've now unlocked is just so high that they don't exactly have to worry about, you know, creating a boss that's gonna be a little bit more on the easier, more on the vanilla side. They can just go ham with the bosses, and it's probably gonna be beatable in some way. Alright guys, so we're around 59 and this is the current farming setup. This is, by the way, a Monkeyopolis with a bunch of farms absorbed. We have a couple of tier 5s. Everything's basically a 420 farm under some sort of a village. And I was just thinking, what is the plan for this tier? Because we had a lot of success versus the tier 1. So I was thinking if we can somehow manage to keep the boss like into this right spot and have the farms produce money, I think that that's gonna be the goal. So I was thinking of doing the Dark Paragon but having it here towards the right side actually. And I'm kind of set on just using the Dark Paragon. It's just a question of what degree we're gonna need. So I'm gonna have this guy. Let me upgrade it without any additional cash. I sacrifice Build Crossbow Master. That's gonna be a degree 22. And if everything is done correctly, so look at the range of the Dark Paragon. So we should be able to keep the boss here. The damage should be more than enough as it is. There we go. And yeah, that is absolutely perfect. I mean, I'm not exactly sure if any towers are getting stunned at all. Like maybe this farm is getting stunned and the favorite trade is both, and that's about it, I think. So this is just perfect the way we're playing this so far. All the farms are producing, and I think this is going to be very, very important for the long run. So you know what? I think the only thing we have left for us to do is to just keep placing a bunch of 420 farms. And I love the placement of this Dark Paragon, so I'm just kind of wondering, do we keep this guy for the tier 3? Because he seems to be doing a lot of damage to this boss. I mean, I know that this is only like the tier 2, so it's expected to win, but I feel like the damage is a little bit too overwhelming for it, so we might want to keep it for, I was thinking, let's give it a shot, because we already bought it, and if we can save some money, like I'm always down to do that, so let's just keep this guy for the tier 3, and if we need to buy something else, then we will. Alright guys, so this is about it. We're around 79. This is how our farming setup looks like, and we're about to face the tier 3 boss with, oh my god, 6 million HP. This is only a tier 3. That's kind of crazy. Let's see if this dart is gonna be able to handle it by itself, and if not, we can obviously just buy something else, but I would rather not, because the next paragon that we're going for is probably gonna be the ace, and let's see how this dart is gonna do. Oh no, it's actually not doing as well, I don't think. Let's just give it a little bit more time, but honestly, this is really not looking at it. This thing is still stunned now, so we need either a higher degree on the Dark Paragon or we just buy something else. This is really not looking good. So the second skull is gonna stun it. Oh my god, it's not even gonna stun it because it's just gonna walk past it, I think. Oh yikes, this guy is just not enough. Okay, so we are gonna need to restart this one and buy something else, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so you guys are not gonna believe what I'm gonna defend this guy with. It's gonna be another Dark Paragon, but I am gonna put a little bit more money into this guy. I bought a couple of sacrificial towers, and I'm gonna put in about 200k into this thing. Let's see what's the degree that we're gonna. It's a 51. So basically, the only thing we're looking for is for the Dark Paragon to keep Vortex in place just as we did on the tier 2. That's gonna be perfect because we don't want to have our farms getting stunned, and this is obviously a lot better than previously. So the Paragon is not getting stunned. Okay, that's good, I guess. Oh, did I find the perfect degree somehow on this thing? Because the 50s seem to be pretty good. It seems to be just enough. Yep, it's just enough so the dart doesn't get stunned. That's amazing. Okay, so basically for tier 3, if you're defending with a Dark Paragon, you're looking for something above degree 50. This is gonna keep it in place, and again, we do the exact same thing. I'm just gonna speed everything up because we know what's gonna be happening, but this is perfect, guys, because this allows us to save a bunch of cash, and then we're gonna put all the cash into the Goliath. I was actually thinking for the tier 4, which is kind of ridiculous, but you know what, we can absolutely afford it, and I think that, you know, we're probably gonna need, you know, all these like big hero paragons like the Spike Factory and the Goliath to get rid of the tier 5. So I'm just gonna let all these farms produce cash, and that's gonna be the goal for the tier 4. So I'm gonna see you guys in a second for that one. By the way, this combo, rubber to gold and this NG trap, this is absolutely insane. Look at the amount of money the trap has made so far. They actually buffed it a couple of updates ago, so this trap, the big trap, gives 3x cash for pop if I'm not mistaken, and look at the numbers that this thing is pulling, 274,000. Compare that to something like, I don't know, well, I guess you cannot exactly compare it to the Banana Central, but this thing is like 850 and this thing is at closer to, well, 280 at this point, so about a third of the Banana Central, and the cost is just ridiculously low. So a very good tower to have in your farming roster for sure. Alright, so try to sneak as many of these ace platforms as possible. The space is really tight, so I think we're just gonna be going for a bunch of 420s. I think this is the most efficient way to get these upgrades going, and basically the degrees from the upgrades, right? And we're gonna put all the money that we can into this thing. I bought one of the platforms here in the bottom left corner so it doesn't get stunned, and let's put all the money into this thing. 3.7 million. Okay, so this is the max, so this should be a very high degree. What's the degree that we're gonna get? It is a 59. That is huge for a Goliath. Actually, even though it's kind of huge, I'm not exactly sure if this guy is. Usually, you know what's happening with these elite bosses, if you have something like this, I'm gonna be honest, this guy should be able to beat it by itself. But the thing is, this Vortex this week is just so out of pocket that it just straight up not going to be enough, because look at what's happening. This is the tier 4, and the tier 4 has more HP than the tier 5 usually. Has 23.5 million. Okay, but the Goliath does seem to be doing well, actually. Do we actually get lucky again that we're able to keep Vortex on the right side? This is insane. I'm by the way, not planning for any of these things. Well, I guess we planned the Dart Paragon one, but I didn't plan the first one, and I definitely did not plan this one. Yeah, the Goliath is going to be enough for this tier for sure, but the next tier, guys, what are we even doing for the next one? As like, is what the Goliath plus the Spike Factory, like, is that even gonna be enough? Let's do an bombardment. This should pull it back a little bit more, so the Dart, I guess, doesn't get stunned, even though the Dart is at this point just scratching the Paragon, so there's no need to keep it in place. And look at this thing. This guy is actually kind of escaping from our degree 59 Goliath, and it's only the tier 4. I'm scared about the tier 5, guys. I don't even know what to expect. This guy is running off our Goliath. That's crazy. We do get it done though, so it's only the tier 5 left, and honestly, I don't think there's much more things to do, so I'm just gonna let these farms produce, and then at the tier 5 we're gonna see if we made a mistake by not buying overclocks for all these BRFs, or if just like the Spike Paragon plus the Goliath, and if we have the money for something else, if that's gonna be enough to defeat this thing. Alright, and then it's 4.6 million. Now I wanted to do something else first. I actually wanted to get the Navar going. I'm just gonna buy this guy without putting any money into it. The reason why I want to get this thing is because it's gonna give an attack speed buff to the Goliath, so it's just like free real estate, I guess, at this point, so why not get it? And there we go, that's all the sacrificial Spike Factories. I was thinking of having the spike like this. It's kind of inside of this square, but not exactly. Hope this placement is fine, honestly. I'm just gonna put all the money into this thing. Just the grade that we got on this one is a 61. You cannot exactly see it, but let me actually hook up an overclock to it. Oh, did I say an overclock? I meant a tech bot, but yeah, the last paragon is gonna be the Grave Dominus. We want to leave a little bit of cash for these damage amplification towers, so let's do it somewhere like this. 400k in total. I put this guy on the platform on the Buccaneer. It's gonna be a 34. Not great, not terrible, I guess. And let's use all of this other cash for damage amplification towers. So we're gonna get the super bill. I'm gonna have the sniper somewhere here on the side so it doesn't get stunned. And guys, this is about, I mean, you know what, we're gonna push it to the max. Let's get the glue storm as well. All right, this is about it. $6,000 left, so the money has been planned perfectly. The degrees are super high on the paragons, but is this gonna be enough to beat this insane tier 5? Alright, let's go. Oh my god, what is this real? 120 million? 120 million HP. What is even happening? Guys, this guy, he's gonna walk through. I don't think we're beating this thing. Wait a minute. I was not expecting 120 mil. I was expecting like, I don't know, like 80, honestly. What? Let's have the Goliath ability like this. I think this is gonna be timing it perfectly. Oh, he's past the halfway point of the track at this point, right? Like this no way. I think I'm just gonna deploy the Goliath ability in a second. Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. And let's move it like what, like here on the side, I guess. I mean, I do have the Spike Factory hooked up to a tech bot, so like that ability is going off as well simultaneously, but I don't think this is enough, guys. Okay, another Goliath ability. I'm gonna use it. This should take off. No, it's not taking out another skull, I don't think so. We're gonna be, I think we're probably taking off this one and one more skull after this, and that's probably gonna be about it. So we did come a little bit closer. Are we even gonna take out this skull? I think we are. It's gonna be super close. We're taking one more skull, and we're gonna be left with 29 million HP. This is insane. Wait, have they lost their minds? What is even happening? I mean, honestly, it wasn't even like too bad, but what are you supposed to do on this one? Like, how much are you supposed to farm? Oh my god, have they lost their minds? What are you supposed to do on this one? Like 61 on the Spike, 59 on the God. Like, look at this guy, 80 million pops he has. Buffing the Goliath with a Navark, and we have like two. I guess these guys are not doing too much, but I mean, this guy did like 5 million HP. You guys know what? I think you are actually supposed to overclock your BRFs while you're farming, because fully farming it doesn't seem like it's enough for this boss. You have to go the extra mile. Alright, so we're trying kind of a similar thing again, but I switched up some things. I switched up the spike placement here towards the back so it doesn't get stunned like ever. I also put a bunch more money into the boomerang. I guess it's not gonna help out too much, but at this point, like, I think this is just like marginal damage that we're talking about. I'm also gonna try and be a little bit better with the usage of the Goliath ability, but honestly, guys, if you just don't have the damage, you don't have the damage. And yeah, I would want to say that we're halfway there, but we're honestly not. Maybe we're close to halfway there with the HP, but like we're not exactly halfway there to beating this thing at all. So we're gonna proc on our skull, which is gonna come close to all these spikes, and then let's just do the Goliath ability like this. I'm gonna use it again, but guys, honestly, I think it's time for us to start using these time stops because this is probably not gonna. Let's see how much damage he's gonna take from all these spikes. Actually, so he is walking into all of them, and are these guys like gonna take out the skull or something like that? Oh my god, that's what are we lagging so much? Wait, was that the spikes? Did the spikes actually take out the entire skull? I mean, that's really good. The problem is when he explodes, I think he deletes all the projectiles near him. So that was good, but it's still not gonna be enough, I don't think. Alright, so one more Goliath ability, and yeah, guys, this is looking about the same-ish as previously, and we just don't have the money, it seems like. I don't know. Like, we did farm a lot, but we just not doing the thing, it seems like. We farmed so much. I mean, these paragons are so good. It didn't allow us to have Geraldo, I don't think. And because there's no Geraldo, like, obviously, a lot of your paragons are gonna suffer, where you're not gonna be able to get a high degree onto them, but come on, like, would Geraldo have changed anything at this point? I'm not exactly sure. Alright, so we should be able to take out the last skull in a second. I'm kind of paying attention to the spike ability, the spike again one, but the thing is, when we activate it, it's gonna trigger all the landmines at the bottom. We are actually gonna get it done, don't get me wrong, but we had to use a lot of time stops, and this is not the way that we want to be beating bosses, but come on, guys, this is just absolutely ridiculous. 120 million HP. Like, we farmed insanely hard, and this is still, like, look at how close it is with a bunch of time stops. Is this even gonna do it, by the way? 1.5 million? I think we're actually barely gonna do it. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. There he goes. That is the tier 5. I'm really curious about the damage counts on all these paragons that we have, but that is just absolutely ridiculous. How are you even supposed to peak this thing? Let me just check. 38 million on the spike, 100 million onto the Goliath. Wild stuff. And then like 10 million onto this guy. But again, this guy's idea was that he's buffing the Goliath, so not exactly, you know, worried about this number. And then the Boomer sitting at 9 million. Yeah, that's absolutely insane. There we go. That was probably one of the most insane bosses that we've had in BTE 6. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys managed to find a way to beat this thing and farmed a lot, because that's obviously going to be necessary. Thanks for watching the video, and I'm going to see you on the next one.